What is up, everybody? I'm back. And believe it or not, it's the day after we worked on the motor. I can't tell you last time I've worked on this thing 2 days in a row. But completely different weather today. So that's good. It's kind of like it's been a whole month or something, except for it's been 24 hours. So anyway, we're doing trannies today. Nope, not those kind. I have been screwing around for a couple hours trying to. I thought I had a game plan, and then I got a monkey wrench in that game plan, and then a monkey wrench in that game plan, and so on and so forth. And now I'm on plan, probably like J. I honestly don't know how far in the alphabet J is, but we'll go with J. So I'm going to get you caught up to what I've been doing all morning. And then I'll tell you what we're going to do today, because it's evolved a little from what I thought I was going to be doing today. So it's just the way it goes. Hang on. So this is my beautiful 4-speed Saginaw transmission. And obviously I need a shifter, right? Makes sense. My plan, when Cole gave me a bunch of parts, he gave me this shifter and another shifter, which you'll see in a minute. And my plan this whole time was to use this shifter because it mounts to the transmission. Now, he warned me it had a homemade plate on it for mounting it, which, keep it down over there, which does not fit the transmission I have. So my game plan was to just make a new mounting bracket, and then I realized that somebody has gotten a hold of these with a MIG welder, maybe a stick welder, I don't know. And then I started messing with this thing. Obviously you can see I started lubricating it and stuff, trying to figure out if I can get it working, because it felt pretty gross. And now everything moves okay. But then I started looking, and you guys will not be able to see it. Let me get a light. But there's supposed to be like a dowel pin in this. There's no way in that hole right there, and it's not really there. It's halfway there, and it's knocked out in a way that you can't get it all the way out without disassembling everything, which I could do. But we're also missing, there's supposed to be some kind of plate that goes on here and bolts through here, and that's missing. It's missing the stop bolt here, which is not a big deal. It's just this, which, whatever, that's not a big deal. So this doesn't really work right. I'd have to do a lot of modification on the shift rods, because actually I believe even with these being modified just based on the spacing, I think they were set up for a Muncie, which, as I've now found out, the Muncie reverse lever is back here. It's not in this side panel, it's like back on the case. So that's one of the differences between a Saginaw and a Muncie, besides I think the Muncies are aluminum cases. They're also about 3 times as much money, maybe more. So we ain't doing that. But basically, there's so much work that would need to be done. This thing needs to be like fully rebuilt. There's like a shim there that's all wadded up. It just doesn't make sense to me right now. Also, by the way, if you want to just buy linkages and a bracket to mount that, it's like 300 bucks. 350 bucks plus tax and shipping and everything. So it'd be like $400. If you want to buy a complete shifter with linkages and everything, it's like 800 or 900 bucks. And yeah, that ain't happening. So, you know how many cars I bought for $800 or $900 in my life? Several. A lot of them I drove home and then drove subsequently days after that. Anyway, so like I said, I'm on plan about J, I think is what we went with. So in the car, Cole was nice enough. This is like a floor mount 4-speed shifter. And from my research, this is more of, I believe these were meant for like A-body Chevys, which is a lie. And all of these parts came from a Chevy Vega upon further research. So everything I'm saying in this clip is a lie, and we will just skip right by it. It's not intended for Nova. It's gonna be a bit of a an ordeal to get this thing mounted, because I'll set it up on the transmission and show you, but in the car it's gonna sit down lower. I roughly measured off the motor mounts under the car, kind of came up with a rough idea of where this thing's gonna end up, and as you can tell, it's gonna go down, I don't know, maybe an inch or so, and it's already getting into the seat, so that's gonna end up being a problem. I think my solution for that is, once I get it mounted, we will modify this, and it's got reverse lockout, which is this lever here. I think if we modify this plate correctly, we can retain that, and we'll just kind of stand it up a little bit. I think that's gonna work. Unfortunately, I'll have to take the carpet up and do a bunch of sheet metal fabrication work. I say unfortunately, I like doing that kind of work. I just didn't want to do it on this car right now, but it is what it is. I'd rather do that than spend a shoot ton, almost said a bad word, of money right now. So my labor, I don't charge myself a lot for labor. I should, but I don't. Anyway, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm gonna set the shifter up on the transmission so you guys can kind of see where I'm at, and then I think I'm just gonna do a bunch of cleaning up. I may even take the shifter apart and clean it and grease it all up real good, and maybe throw some paint on some stuff, and maybe keep it short today. I hooked the shifter up on the transmission. I have checked. It's very hard to do with this not mounted, but I did check, make sure it does go through all the gears. So this is kind of what I'm talking about. You can see the shifter basically ends up dead center of the transmission. On a Nova, the 4 speeds that would have come in them, I don't know why I'm struggling to talk, they would have been bolted to the side of the transmission, and they would have been offset to this side. So factory Nova 4-speed hump won't work. I'm really hoping that this all fits in the tunnel, because I don't know that yet either. But we'll have to find out, I guess. But that's where my problem, like, I can buy the factory 4-speed hump for the Chevy IIs, but the opening will be over here, so it won't do me any good. So it's gonna be a lot of trying to figure out this stuff, but I don't know any way that I can do it without having everything in the car. Maybe there's a way. I guess I kind of got a rough measurement based off motor mount location on the motor. Basically, all I did was just add up from the back of the motor mount to where the bell housing mounts, the width of the bell housing, and then from the front of the transmission to the shifter, to kind of give me a rough idea where it's going to end up. That's really all I can do. I can't do any more until I get the thing in the car. So that's as good a plan as I got. Like I said, it turns out this is I looked up the part number. It's a B&M 44699, I think it's the part number. It doesn't seem like they make them anymore, and I couldn't find any like rebuild kits or parts or anything. I do think I could get this working, more than likely, but how much time would I have in it? And also, I think as an end product, like I've got the factory boot and everything for this. The only thing I don't have is a factory knob, but whatever, I put a 4-speed knob on it. I think it'll look good. It's just gonna, no matter which way I go, there's gonna be some finagling. So as of right now, my plan is to use that shifter. But what I may end up doing now, maybe I'll put a time lapse, maybe I won't. I'm gonna get this transmission all cleaned up. I want to throw some paint on it. Obviously it's cold, but we may do it anyway. And then we'll maybe dive into the shifter. I've got a new clutch and flywheel, flex plate, whatever. I've got all that stuff. I've got a throwout bearing, a hydraulic throwout bearing. I've got a bell housing down there. So if I can get the transmission all cleaned up and set up, I'm hoping next week I can start the process of trying to put the two together. It's gonna be a lot of figuring out to get that done. You know, air gap and science and math and all the things I'm not good at. So anyway, I guess I'll set you guys up. I'm gonna put some music in, and I'm gonna wire wheel this thing to death, and then maybe throw a coat of paint on it. Okay, I don't know what you saw last. So, that's fun. I did a very, Craigslist rebuild, if you will. But, in saying that, golly, I missed a lot of spots with the paint. Anyway, we're gonna leave it, because you guys already saw what the motor looks like, so we'll be doing alright. So I'm going to show you, I kind of got the shifters all back together and greased and such. I very poorly shot some paint on it, and I don't know. It'll be good enough for who it's for. You know what I'm saying? Bam. Would you just look at it? So, like I said, I missed a lot of spots with paint. It is what it is. Don't mind that. It's fine. But I've got it kind of mocked up with all the linkages attached to it. I bolted the bell housing on. This is I don't remember. It's a GM factory bell housing. All the information seems to be based off these last three numbers. So 403 was it's for a 10.5-inch clutch. And it's aluminum, and it fits the larger diameter of the later transmissions. So that's what I'm using. Obviously that means I'm using a 10.5-inch clutch. You can go to an 11-inch, which in hindsight I probably would have done that, but at the time it's very hard to find information on combinations that work together. So I felt like I've had pretty good information that this combination will work, so that's what I went with, and it was not too bad. Bell housing was eBay, I don't know, I think it was like 75 bucks or something. Maybe 100 was shipping or something like that, but and the clutch was pretty cheap. It's probably not a very good quality clutch, but this motor is, I don't know, maybe make 200 horse or something, maybe. So I'm not too worried about all that. At some point we may have to upgrade, but by then we'll be building a new motor, and I don't have any money, so that's not happening anytime soon. So that's pretty much it for today. That's as far as I'm gonna get. I still have some time, and I'm really trying to talk myself out of trying to bolt these together. But it's fine. Next week, I'm pretty much at a point next week where I can take the motor off the engine stand, put the clutch and everything on it, and start trying to figure out throw out bearing, air gap, and all that stuff. Pilot bushing and all that fun clutch stuff. So yeah, that'll be next week's video. Once we get all that figured out and get them bolted together, we'll be putting the motor in. So shouldn't be too much longer before the motor's in it. And then, you know, we gotta deal with this shifter situation that I already explained, and just all the finishing up stuff, wiring and so on and so forth. So anyway, thank you guys for watching along with the progress. I'm very excited to get this car done. I'm trying to have it done by the end of February, because I feel like it's an achievable goal, and I would like to take my family to dinner in it for my birthday, which is the end of February. So we'll see how that works out. Like I said, thanks for watching and tagging along, and I will see you on the next video whenever that comes out, sometime after this one.